stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part 2 of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mublet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin. And welcome back to the English Fence League Radio Show with host Jeff Spider Mitchell. Jeff, you grew up, as we all did, as a kid. You're a father, you're a grandfather, you're a great-grandfather. You understand the politics of the schoolyard. What are your impressions of what this young man was talking about and the rest of it?
Well, it's the politics of the schoolyard, and that sums it up, really. It's not just some kid bullying and doing something to a young girl or a young boy and someone standing in. It's the politics of the day that we live now. That's the trouble. Politics has been brought in to the schoolyard, and the narrative, the headline, Syrian refugee, was attacked by racists, because I think that's how it panned out at the time. It had nothing to do with that. It's just the way that the fake stream media reports on these things, because they're guided by their masters from Saudi and places like that, to write this garbage, to put up this narrative. So, of course, the politics now is two kids kicking off, and one of them gets thrown out of school and has death threats. His family's had death threats and rape threats. It's typical of where we are now. It's the people in this country now. If you are an indigenous person who's born and bred in this country, you really are the refugee. Those that come over here and everything's put on a plate for them, they're the first-class citizens. You now are refugees because that family had to move. They've had to move around and change location simply because of how bad the situation is. And that is what Tommy has been talking about. But then Tommy comes under attack because he could see the wrongdoing of the way that the establishment, the way that the mainstream media and the wrong uns are doing things. And unfortunately, Tommy's the brunt of this whole issue now. He's, it's unfortunate. It is what it is, Dave. It's you stand up for what's right and you stand up for what's wrong in this country, and basically you're doing. That's not the way to do it. In their eyes, it's not the way. Things should just go on, and you should not say nothing. You should stay quiet and let these things pan out. Well, I'm sorry, that's just not the way it is with people like myself. I'm not bowing down to anybody. I'm not, no one's going to stop me if I see injustice being performed. I'm not going to stand aside and say, oh, this is not my problem. If I know that I can deal with the situation, I'm there to deal with it. But that's just me, Dave. That's just the way that I am. But, I mean, this is a horrible situation for that young lad and his family, and a horrible situation for Tommy and his family for speaking up on behalf of the family. Unbelievable times we lived, though. Horrific.
Yeah,
Thank you, brother.
it is, Jeff. All right. Thanks, man. And yeah, it is. I mean, Americans that are listening to this, how many times have you seen this in regard to police shootings and other things? They take a video and they completely misinterpret it. They go just based on the little slice of video that you get to see. They don't tell you about any background. It's a poor Syrian refugee. Yeah, it's a poor Syrian refugee who gets away with almost anything because he's a Syrian refugee. I mean, let's just face it. Now, the kid didn't say this. The EDL isn't saying this, but I'm saying this. The unpleasant blind guy, Dave Milner, he's getting away with these things because he's a Mohammedan. And because being a Mohammedan in the United Kingdom now is a mitigating circumstance. It means, as Tim Burton used to say, you can get away with more than you can if you're not a Mohammedan. Okay, so this guy's been able to get away with attacking a girl with a hockey stick. He's been able to get away with biting another girl on the head. I don't know what that was about, but then again, the way these Mohammedans are raised, violence.
Coranimal does that. Coranimal. That's what it is.
Well,
Coranimal.
Violence is just a part of what they're raised with, and they're raised to intimidate. And this young man that Tommy interviewed, was practicing the actual politics of the schoolyard as it should be practiced. Okay, you're going to roll up on me and tell me you're going to stab me. I'm not going to be intimidated, and I'm going to show you I'm not going to be intimidated. We all grew up in those situations. Okay, and it should have been left there. It's like, okay, if they wanted to give the kid detention for an hour or, give him 2 days off school or whatever, okay, that's a reasonable punishment, I think. But instead, this has been blown way out of proportion because the kid is a Mohammedan. And, Jeff, it gets worse, man. This gets worse from here. You guys have already heard, listeners, of the intimidation that has gone on with one witness that was prepared to step forward, and now she has to remain silent in order to protect her family from these Mohammedans. And it gets even worse than this, Jeff. Are you ready for the second part of this one, man?
Yeah, go for it, Dave.
All right, guys. Now, this one's a little bit longer, but again, this is worth listening to, especially listen to Tommy Robinson's words as he concludes all of this, because this was what really grabbed me. And actually, we were going to, I was thinking about calling this show Refugees, because that now is what indigenous people, conservatives, and people like that are. We'll get into more of that later, but for now, check this out. This is 9 minutes and 46 seconds long, so be sure and check this out, guys, and share it too, okay? Go to tr.news, okay, and you can share this out. The headline on it is Waging Financial Jihad and Destroying the Truth, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and play this, guys, and you can listen and share this stuff out. This is the English Defense League radio show. Here we go.
A solicitor got involved. Yeah, he then posted, I believe, he's posted the video after I've had a meeting with the governors and the head teacher.
So you've had a meeting with the governors and the head teacher?
Yep.
And then the next day, the
video.
Muslim lawyer, 6 weeks after the incident has happened, 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
So the school have dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
6 weeks later, the video is put online viral, and there's a big statement with the video, a big story about how Jamal has been bullied for years, 2 years in the school, and how when you read that statement, it reads as though you broke his arm.
Right, it's not true. It wasn't me that broke his arm.
Was you involved?
Wasn't involved in
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all. I wasn't even there.
He wasn't even there. So this is your first altercation with him. He's mouthing off at you in class. Then you hear he's going to stab you. So when that then comes out and you see it going viral, the way it went viral,
I didn't know what to do with myself, kind of thing. Get all the comments that I would read and all this type of stuff. And then hours later, my address got put out, and then there were people turning up at my house in cars, all this type of stuff.
I've seen comments on here saying your sister should be the same as yourself. Your sister's a mixed race, is that right?
Yeah.
Say if I just pick some of these, I'll find you on my way, I'll rape you. It's a picture of you. Who is Alfie? Who the fuck is Alfie and Bailey McLaren, the dirty racist bastards? You better make sure that kid isn't at Almondbury School, because we're going to do exactly what he's been doing to other kids. And the older one is getting his head caved in. The older one must mean your brother. People like you shouldn't have the right to give birth. These are aimed at your mum. Kill yourself and kill your whole family. In the sense of, if we talk about bullying. You're what, 16?
16, yeah.
I hope your son gets raped. There's a lot of instances of rape here.
Yep.
Again, look, do you know what, I get lots of this, yeah? And it worries me. And I'm a man. You're a 16-year-old kid.
Like aiming at my mum and my sisters, saying they're going to rape my mum, so rape my sister and stuff like this. It's just appalling.
You know the rape threats? We're in Huddersfield, yeah?
Yep.
A lot of these that I'm reading here are young Muslim men. One of them actually says, you know what we do in this area. One of them actually says, specifically, you know exactly what we do. I think he's referring to, because in Huddersfield, the town we're in, 61 men in the last 12 months have faced charges for the gang rape and prostitution of young English girls. 61 Muslim men. So how real do you take those threats?
Serious, very serious. Because in my hometown, there's like you said, there's 61 people that have been.
And that's why you've left. That's why you're in hiding.
Yeah.
Have you seen the media report anything about the threats you're facing?
And all they've reported on about is the Syrian refugee as they put it across.
Yeah.
And that there's been nothing on thing about saying, well, look what his family's had to face, look what he's had to face. Nothing.
Just a kid having a altercation at school.
Which happens all across the country.
So from the minute this happens, your house is coming under attack, your family's coming under attack, you're receiving all of these, and I read a newspaper article saying you've gone into hiding. I read that you left the country with your mum. That's what I read.
Yeah, right, yeah. But yeah, we went into hiding kind of thing because we had all these threats.
Yeah.
Rape threats, death threats.
Bearing in mind basically all of these, there's thousands. There's thousands of these threats. Bearing in mind there's thousands of threats. And they're all from Muslims who are looking for you. Where did the police relocate you?
Beeston. In a bed and breakfast next to the Winstons.
The bed and breakfast next to Winston. Winston's is a prostitute haven in Leeds. Beeston is a Muslim community.
Yep.
The bed and breakfast was owned by a Muslim.
Yep.
And that's where they were driving to take you in a riot van from Huddersfield.
We've looked at the reviews on it and
I've read the reviews. It's crime, full of prostitutes, full of drug dealing. This is the B&B that the police were taking you to as a safe place.
The mayor's lodge put an arrow on top of my head saying, look, he's here.
He's here.
Yeah.
You should be taking your GCSEs.
GCSEs, most crucial, what I've actually been building up for my GCSEs, to take my GCSEs for all my school life kind of thing. This is the main year which I should be getting my head down in school, but now I'm suffering from that.
How would you do in your GCSEs? What's your predicted grade?
Good. Intelligent. I'd be getting high grades.
If you could say something to those people who are judging you, the people who think that you're a bully, that you're a racist, that you're a horrible individual, what would you say to them?
Try and get the other side of the story first. Before you actually start making the threats and these threats that have come across. Yeah. Just get two sides of the story, because then your opinion will change. Maybe so. Yeah.
Are you scared now?
Yeah. Scared for my life, scared for my family's life.
Over the last 2 years, a young girl has been bullied at a school in the south of England. Here's 2 videos of the Muslim girl who's been bullying her.
Yeah. And you just said that you didn't see that. Oh my God. Her face. Whoa! Shit! Oh, fuck!
Both these incidents happened in the same period of time. Both have been shared online and both have been made public. Will the media report that the English girl was waterboarded? Will that be in the headline as she threw water upon her? This is worse than Bailey's. Far worse than Bailey's. This is 2 separate incidents on camera. The girl had to leave the school after 2 years of bullying. Will she face court proceedings? Will she be prosecuted in the same way Bailey has? The media, the politicians, the far left, none of them care about the young English girl getting bullied. None of them. They only seem to care about the Syrian.
All the people who said they cared about bullying, the whole media and this whole campaign resulted in the complete bullying and targeting of an entire family over a school playground altercation. That's what that was. And now you have a 16-year-old child, because that's what Bailey McLaren is, a child. And if you look at the word refugee, a family driven from their home through persecution. Well, I've just left a family of refugees, but they're not in Syria. They're from Huddersfield in England. And right now they have nowhere to live and nowhere to go. And they're scared. She's got 2 mixed-race 11-year-old daughters. Looking at their faces and how miserable and upset they were. One of those girls has been driven to self-harm in the last week. 11 years old. To all the celebrities that made this their business, to highlight this and push this agenda. Duncan Bannatyne, all of you celebrities. Piers Morgan, all of you who told the story without even knowing the entire facts of the story. Without even knowing or looking or hearing the other side of the story. Your campaign has resulted in the persecution of a family. Your campaign of children. I've just left a family with young children 3 weeks before Christmas. We look at the campaign that was driven for Jamal. And that's what it was. It was an organised, orchestrated and timed campaign by a lawyer. And the lawyer who's headed this is a lawyer that's been used before by Islamist organisations, by terrorists, okay? By terrorists. He issued me a threat to take me to court. Take me to court. Well, there is a family right now in need. And I've left them. And in fact, I've just extended their stay. They have no money. They have nowhere to live. They have no one to turn to. The council, the government, no one. They've tried to relocate them, no one. Now, I'm not going to, 3 weeks before Christmas, what's the time now? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're on our way back up. And Kev and that are driving straight back up tomorrow to relocate this family. They need relocating. Now, if you want to support them, a GoFundMe page was set up 3 times for Bailey McLaren's family because they genuinely need support. They genuinely need help. They've got nowhere to live. You know the mother? They haven't been back to the house. They've got no clothes. They're too scared to go back to the house. They've got no clothes. The children, the little children are asking, what about our Christmas presents that were already under the tree? I'm sat there as the mother's telling them, we can't go back there. We cannot go back near there. They're terrified. They're terrified. It's disgusting what's happened here. The way this has been turned. The way this has been blown up. But I don't want to see that family like that. And that family genuinely need help. And unfortunately, at the minute, they haven't been able to turn to the council or the government or social services and the people that should be helping them. So if you want to support them, I'm going to support them. If you want to support them, you can do so at supportbailey.com.
And welcome back to the English Fence League Radio Show with the host, Jeff Spider Mitchell. Jeff, man,
well,
what do you think?
This, as I say, the thing that you take away from it, it's heartbreaking to know that a family is being persecuted and are absolutely terrified, especially the young girls in the family, and all the threats that's been made against them and the mum and the dad and that, and you know, Dave, sometimes it's this story's so familiar, isn't it? It's so familiar with where we are today, of what we have to put up with, what that poor family have got to put up with. Not getting no support, no one cares. The only people that care is Tommy and the team. And that is tragic. That is tragic that we live in a country now that as they are refugees. That's it, Dave, what you said, you summed it up. They turned their own citizens in this country into refugees. Is this what they call population replacement to a wrath? to cause stress and harm to the indigenous people. So they have they're chased out of their home. So then those those people that are here now they'll probably be living in their home soon. The people from foreign lands be living in their home, and this poor family has got nowhere to live at this moment. I'm sure Tommy will relocate this family. But that's where we are, guys. That's where we are. It's time to fight. It's time to stand up against all this. This has been going on for far too long. The story is so... We hear these stories every day, not quite as extreme as that, but sadly, this is about occupation and replacement of the indigenous people, and to make it really hard. And a young kid of 11 years old self-harming himself. You know, this is a cry for help. It always is. When you hear kids that do that, this is a cry for help. What help is coming that kid's way? What insurance have they got for their safety? All you got to do at this moment in time is there is a website, and Tommy has spoke about it. Please go there, donate, do whatever you can. There's a family out there who desperately needs your help, and I know there's a lot of good people out there. You are good people. Please donate and help a family who's been persecuted by the system, by the total corrupt, evil ones out there. Not a lot I can say. I feel very despondent when I hear what's been going on and the plight of the family. And you know, that's what we're sharing with you, the listeners. I'm sorry if I'm saying so despondent, but that's how it makes you. It makes me angry. It makes me so angry that we live in a country that we used to be so proud to be part of. Now it's becoming a bit of a nightmare to live in this country now under the system that we live. That's all I really want to say, Dave. I'm a bit down about it all, mate, really honest with you.
Well, of course you are, Jeff, and there was so much to unpack in this one. I mean, you take a look at the government response, and their response was, well, we'll move you to a safe house. And, yeah, it's basically what we would call over here in the States a flea bag hotel, populated with hookers and dope dealers and all this kind of thing in a predominantly Mohammedan area owned by a Mohammedan. Well, that's a real safe house, man. Yeah. I mean, why don't they just ship the kid off to Syria? You know, he would be about as safe. It's absolutely ridiculous what these people are doing. And, of course, the celebrities that can't keep their mouths shut about these sorts of things. Now, I'm going to say this, man, as you might want to call back in, because it's about that time. I want to say this about...
Do it right now, mate. Cheers.
The celebrities. Yeah, I'm going to say this about the celebrities, guys. Look, they have as much of a right to speak about the issues as anybody else. But to them, I would say, learn all the facts before you open up your noise hole. Okay? Because you've got a bigger megaphone, fair or unfair, than the rest of us do because you're a celebrity. Because, you know, you can sing a song, or you can act in a movie or on a TV show, or you happen to have a news program, quote-unquote news program, right? Or something of that nature, okay? I'm not going to tell anybody that they have to shut up. In fact, I hate being told to shut up myself. I believe in unfettered free speech, but learn all of the facts before you go out there and run your face. Okay, that's all I'm saying when it comes to this sort of thing, because it is just attitudes like that and the adherence to political correctness the consequences of which you celebrities and you media people, and I know some of you listen to this show, don't have to deal with, that have caused this situation. If you are a non-Mohammedan in the UK, or if you're a conservative there, or in the United States, yeah, you're a refugee. But, Jeff, let's move this over to another area, because how are other refugees being treated? Or rather, how are they paying their host countries back? I've got one here from Breitbart. These next three are from Breitbart, and this one is from the 20th, and it's 2 minutes and 23 seconds long. If people want to go and look for this, all right, it's got, well, you'll be able to hear the headline in a minute. Are you prepared to hear this one, man? This is how we get paid back for our kindness.
Yeah, go for it, Dave.
All right, guys. You're listening to the English Defense League radio show. This one's from Breitbart.
Afghan, Iraqi, and Iranian asylum seekers arrested for gang rape of 14-year-old German girl. By Chris Tomlinson on November 20, 2019. Police have arrested 3 asylum seekers for the gang rape of a 14-year-old girl on Halloween night in the German city of Ulm. The 3 asylum seekers, from Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran, in custody are age 15, 16, and 26 and are 3 of 5 suspects in the case. Investigators say there could have been even more people involved in the suspected gang rape, newspaper Münchner Merkur reports. Investigators say the German teen had met one of the suspects on Halloween night and agreed to join him and his group. Once they arrived at the home of one of the asylum seekers, the men raped the girl. Toxicology examinations later found drugs in the girl's blood, with investigators suggesting the suspects may have drugged her before the assault. Initially, police arrested all 5 asylum seekers aged 14 to 26 but released 2 of the suspects, aged 14 and 24, who remain at large. Lord Mayor Gunter Zisch reacted to the case on Twitter and garnered criticism for stating, "I wonder what a 14-year-old girl wants in Ulm at night? Parents have a duty to ensure that a minor girl does not walk around town alone. I say this so clearly because we all have to take responsibility if we want to prevent such cases." The mayor later walked back his statements after being accused of victim blaming, saying, "I am very sorry that my original statement was misleading. Of course, the girl carries no fault. The blame for this act lies exclusively and clearly with the alleged perpetrators." The case comes just over a year after 7 Syrian asylum seekers were arrested in the city of Freiburg, accused of gang raping an 18-year-old young woman after spiking her drink at a nightclub. Initial reports claim she had been raped by as many as 15 men for up to 4 hours. Italy has also seen similar cases, including one in which the drugging of a 16-year-old, who was then gang raped, led to her death by overdose. The suspects in the case were described as being African and Arab immigrants. Follow Chris Tomlinson on Twitter at @TomlinsonCJ or email at tomlinson@breitbart.com.
And that is it for this time. Next time, Part 3. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye. The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic, concealed carry, and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.